Welcome everybody, another session of VTV. So welcome aboard for our sixth session, I think it is. Special guest here today, Nick Blake from the far north. Quickly before we introduce Nick, just remember to use the chat function and the Q&A. If you're asking questions, make sure you set it to all panelists and all attendees so everybody knows what's happening. Feel free to be vocal on there. But Nick, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for taking a slice out of your busy day. Give us a small insight as to who you are and what gets you out of bed in the morning.
Thanks for, firstly, kia ora everyone, and thanks for tuning in. It's thanks to Vendella for putting these sessions on. You know, I think this economic climate, any information hopefully helps. And shared information helps more. So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, pleasure.
So just a little bit about me and how we got involved in the accommodation industry. We've been now in the holiday park industry with Top 10 for 7 years, so we're still quite young into the industry. We actually found our way into the holiday park sector after the Christchurch earthquakes. We had no insurance and we were living in Littleton at the time, and our house, which we were renting, basically fell down around us. So we had nowhere to live, the clothes on our back, and we were like, what do we do now? So we hopped in the car the day after the earthquakes with our 2-year-old son in tow and drove to Nelson. And found myself at 35 staying at a mate's house, basically no job, nowhere to live. We stayed in Nelson for about 2 years. I managed to get a job within 2 days, and we just basically started again. But I won't go too much into that. But after about 2 years of being in Nelson, my wife actually applied for a job as cleaners at Fox Glacier, Top 10, without my knowledge. And one Saturday afternoon, she said, we're going for a drive out to Motueka to meet the owners. And I had a job, and I really knew where this was going. So we met the owners, got on well with them, and ended up moving to Fox Glacier about 2 weeks later to take on a role as assistant managers there. And within 3 months, we ended up managing the Top 10 there on Fox Glacier.
Yeah.
After the 3 months, the owners basically gave us free rein. And I can say, after working in Fox Glacier for 2 weeks, we knew that this was what we wanted to do. Yeah. And we were always going to push to hopefully one day own our own park. So after about 3.5 years of being in Fox Glacier, I actually rang the owners of Whangarei Top 10 and said to them, we don't have much money. Send your ad for your business on Trade Me, and can we come to some sort of arrangement? So I did about 9 months of due diligence working on with the old owners of Whangarei Top 10. And July 2016, we moved to Whangarei and took over the Top 10 up here. Nice. Excuse me, might get a little bit of noise behind because customers coming and going. We're still working away. So looking back at it, my wife and I are probably slightly mad. We gave ourselves about 10 days to move from Fox Glacier to Whangarei with a 7-year-old and a 3-month-old to hire staff and basically take over the business. Yeah. So I talk about the earthquakes and where we've been because it sort of coincides with what's been going on with COVID-19 and how it's negatively sort of impacted a lot of businesses, especially small businesses throughout New Zealand and large ones. I know a lot of people have lost, but I suppose for us, you build a resilience going through certain things. And we've sort of thought, and nothing can really get as bad as we had in the earthquakes. Adapting in COVID-19, when we took over Whangarei Top 10, we actually got rid of all long-term people. We didn't want long-termers on site. Yeah. We wanted to cater for holiday makers. We wanted to cater for New Zealand tourists and sort of try and stay away from that. Yeah. Before the lockdown, we rang MSD, Ministry of Social Development. We called the police. We spoke to companies that are close by us, like Golden Bay Cement, Fonterra, and we sort of said, you know, if you need accommodation, please give us a call. So we've sort of now coming into winter as well. It's our quiet time. We've taken on a few Ministry of Social Development people. We've taken on a few more long-termers just to get us through this sort of financially difficult time.
Yeah. And
we're finding it's working quite well.
Awesome.
I wouldn't say it's living the dream that we thought it would be, but it's definitely still quite good. And I think, you know, New Zealand is sort of number 8 wire people, and I think we've just got to adapt. We don't know how long this COVID-19 is going to go on for. We don't know what the government's going to do, and if it'll come back. So I think anyone in the tourism sector is suffering a lot, and it's just trying to find ways that you can make money in your community. A big thing actually we learned living in Fox Glacier is a population of 280 in Fox Glacier. If you're not involved in the community, you miss out a lot. So even going from Fox Glacier of 280 to Whangarei with, I don't know, 90,000 people, we've always made sure we've networked well. We've joined the Chamber of Commerce, we've entered ourselves in business awards, and we've tried to get ourselves out there locally. We sponsor a couple of voluntary businesses locally, and give them donations every year. And we always sort of try and be out there in the public eye at least a few times a year.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, talking about that community thing as well. One of the first things we did when we moved to Whangarei is we're a small holiday park. We don't have a swimming pool on site. We've got the aquatic centre down the road. So I actually approached them, and we've been dealing with them ever since. And they give all our guests free access to their spas, saunas, everything. And we've found we pay a little bit of money per customer that goes in, not a lot, but it's sort of a win-win. They get numbers through the door, and we give our customer a better experience while they're staying with us. And we found with school groups, we've gone from having about 2 school groups to 1 or 2 a month before this COVID-19 kicked in, because they like the use of the aquatic centre.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because we had Brad Burnett from Sky City on last week, the week before last, and he was saying that it's the complete package that they offer that actually gets people in the door. You know, sometimes the bed that they stay in is actually a spin-off rather than what they come for. But yeah, it sounds like you've had a pretty eventful journey through the last seven years. Must be a bit of a tiger for punishment.
I mean, I don't look at it as punishment. I sort of just growing. You know, I look at career drivers now. When I was in Nelson, I was a career driver for a year, and I have to say that's the worst thing I've ever done in my life. So if you ever think about becoming a career driver out there, don't do it. And I was averaging 98 hours a week work for about a year, and so anything after that just seemed easy.
Yeah.
So and you know, in New Zealand, I sort of look at New Zealand, it's still a bit of a land of opportunity, and I'm sort of in the mindset of don't be afraid to take calculated risks, because what as much as it's this COVID-19's affected people negatively, there's going to be opportunities for people to do well out of it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually think it's there's an opportunity to win there, and I think to win you first have to accept how to lose. And growing up, I wasn't a very good loser at all, and I still sometimes struggle with it. But I'm willing to lose, to take the risk and lose if necessary. But when I say I struggle with it, that's why there's still no monopoly in our house. And my wife are both not good at losing.
Yeah. Well, it's probably that that desire to win that's actually driven you to succeed like you have.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So we had some questions here, Nick, which we thought we'd just quickly run past you. How do you find Queen's? I'll just quickly cap on Queen's birthday. Queen's birthday weekend, a lot of travellers around, and then as well just the day-to-day bookings. Like how you're looking moving forward.
Okay, so Queen's birthday, yeah, we definitely got a few bookings. We're substantially down. April we're something like 97% down from last year. May we're about 58% down from last year. But we're sort of looking forward. So yeah, we had a busy Queen's birthday, and we are definitely still getting a few customers through. Where Fox Glacier to Whangarei is so different. There's so many different reasons why things work in different areas and not in others. And we are sitting in a city of around 100,000. So we've got a lot of industry here. So we get a lot of people coming and stay that might be builders or people from Auckland coming up here to do work. So we're lucky in that respect. But I'm also currently working with Ministry of Social Development and the police. We've currently let out 4 rooms to Ministry of Social Development just to get us through this hard and quiet time. That wasn't what we wanted to do when we initially obviously took over the business, but the adaptation thing again, you just adapt to what you need to.
Yeah, that's good. So how are you finding that, like, what are you doing to attract people in? You've obviously got some domestic market there. Have you changed anything to try and attract more of the domestic market?
I suppose we don't spend a lot on advertising. We're lucky to have Auckland on our doorstep. We try and answer as many things on Facebook and on social media as possible. We also try and sell Northland. It's not just us, it's Northland. If we can get people up to Northland, some of them might stop in here, some of them might go somewhere else. It's just sort of working together with our community and getting people up here. Another big thing actually I wanted to touch on is I know there's a lot of people, and I've actually been arguing on Facebook with some people saying everything's so expensive in New Zealand. And I sort of say to people, don't lower your prices too much. You've got a great product. If you were doing well before COVID-19, you've got a great product. You're obviously doing it right. Just keep it where it is. Maybe do your autumn or spring promos type stuff, but just keep things without, because you'll be finding yourself doing more work for less, which will in the end affects people negatively.
Definitely, and that's interesting to say that. And for anyone who's been on these 6 sessions now, they'll find that comment come through like every session. Is the general overarching comment on pricing is don't drive your pricing down. It's just shooting yourself in the foot, really.
Well, I saw some comment, a friend shared a thing on Facebook saying that they're saying support local, support local industry and blah blah blah, and that they're not going to because it's so expensive to do this, and blah blah blah. I sort of went back at them and I said, we've got a small population as countries go. Not everyone works and pays taxes. Got a big infrastructure to look after, to keep up. People want living wages. They want to have higher salary brackets. So, that has to come from somewhere, and it costs a lot of money to run a business. And these people don't realise this. So I've sort of said to them, if you don't like it, move to China. You'll get things cheaper. Everything will be cheaper, and it'll be better. But you probably only get paid $2 an hour, and whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. The question I had for you was OTAs. Do you think they'll become a bigger friend or a bigger foe?
Oh, that is a hard question. I mean, with what's happening at the moment, I think we've still got a good 18 months to see what's exactly going to happen economically. let's hope, friend. I always try and look at the positive, the glass half full rather than half empty. I'm hoping friend rather than foe, and it's so hard to say. It's so hard to judge. You know, you're seeing a lot of small businesses go under, and you're going to see a lot more go under in the next 18 months. And you've got the elections coming up, so that's going to be used as a bit of a political manoeuvring as well. I don't really want to say too much in there, actually. I've no idea. It's as good as mine.
Now, with the elections coming up, you might get your highway up there. But
they've just started on the rail.
Have they? Okay.
Yeah, they've started on the rail, so that'll point towards the Auckland port, hopefully shifting up here.
Yeah.
The Hunter Vasa building's coming under construction well, and excuse me for one sec. Just push the buzzer. Push the buzzer. Sorry, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
No, that's cool. So Nick's for everyone that's on, Nick's actually got he's managing it himself. And if anyone's worked in a holiday park before, you'll realise you'll totally understand Nick's patch that he's in there. But he's got guests there, which is good, and he's managing it with his wife. So if he shoots off every now and again, you're giving us a real taste of day in the life of a business owner in accommodation. Nick, it's great.
Yeah. We're only a small park. We're only a small team, and we have had to let go a couple of the team, and they know that they'll be able to come back when things pick up a bit. But me and my wife now, we do 3 days a week, where it's just us two. So But we appreciate
you doing it. Yeah. No, it's guys like you that form the backbone of the country. You know, doing the hard yards to keep a company afloat. So we really appreciate that. Another question I had for you was, what trends are you noticing emerging at the moment? I was also thinking around behaviours of guests with requests they may have or demands they may have. Have you noticed any changes?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, cool. So are you noticing any changes in behaviour of guests and what their expectations are or requests are, that type of thing?
Say for instance, THL doing their camper vans at a cheaper rate. Sometimes when people come in here and they might pay $48 or whatever it is for a powered site for 2 people, and they'll be like, but it's only cost us $50 to hire a camper van for the night, sort of thing. There is definitely a bit of people expecting things to be a lot cheaper, or they'll say, oh, there's a Freedom campsite down the road, we'll just go down there. And I mean, we just let them go. We say, okay, it's up to you guys. That's absolutely fine. So there is, unfortunately, a lot of people looking for a deal and thinking they're going to get a better deal than before COVID-19, and they will probably slightly, but we don't undercut ourselves too much. It's not all, a lot of New Zealanders are driving it forward, and most of them, and really trying to help the economy as well.
That's really good. Well, I really appreciate your time, Nick. We've been 20 minutes. We've taken a slice out of your day. You've obviously got a bit on, so I appreciate you taking a slice out of your day to chat with everyone on the call. But really appreciate it. For everyone else, we'll be on here next Thursday as well, 10 o'clock, same time, with a new guest. But Nick, thanks a million, mate. You're putting in the yards there.
Thanks for having me. No, it's awesome that you guys do this, and people can tune in, and you guys will also be suffering. So this is great, a great thing for people to watch and maybe learn things off. So thank you, Vendella, and you guys for doing this for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, from our part, it's just like what you're saying. If we can help someone in the industry, it helps the whole industry as a whole, and in the long term, it helps us as well. So we're in this the same as you guys, but appreciate the yards you're putting in there.
Oh,
Better
that's
let
all
you
good.
get back to your guests.
You have to come and visit sometime.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. Escape that snow down south.
We've got a snow dump coming tonight. So for anyone that was hoping for some skiers around the place, maybe tonight, Tekapo, they're getting worried about their freight up there because they've got snow coming tonight, they say. So let's hope for a bumper season.
Awesome.
Never know.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nick. We'll chat again. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Cheers.
Later.